I'm just saying, I don't feel the need to watch like a full TV series that came out that long ago.
I'm telling you.
Like, am I the guy in the room?
Hey, just because you young don't mean you shouldn't watch Oz.
I'm
Oz was the business, bro. Oz was one of the first HBO joints that you had to watch.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you though. I don't watch TV series. Must be thinking I'm joking. I watch sports and anime. That's it. And every now and then I check in with a Netflix show. So like I tapped in with that one joint. No, I don't watch that. I watch sports and anime.
You gotta watch it all, bro.
Nah, I'm good.
You gotta watch it all. Brand new socks and drawers. You gotta watch it all.
Why would I?
All right.
Breeze Nation, what's good? It's your boy Matt the Designer back at it again.
And on that note,
appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love to another edition of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Technically, this is the Morning Breeze edition because you're dropping at about 7. Depends on when Joe uploads the video. Dropping at about 7 a.m. here. We got the squad in the building. Yeah. As always, super producer Joel Holt, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, Mr. Drew Better. If you knew better, you do better. Say who better? Nobody, bro. Well, we got a lot to get into on today's show. As I got a question for you.
Uh-oh.
As we head into the season here, which Caleb Williams you want? I'm going to lay out 2 scenarios of different outcomes on the season. And I'm going to give you the talking points that will come based on those scenarios. And I'm going to ask all of you which Caleb Williams you want. And you in the audience, you let us know as well. Also, we got Bears preseason joint practices announced, and I'm kind of excited. I'm not gonna lie to you. Anytime, I'm not gonna lie. When I see where joint practices are gonna be scheduled, by the way, the Bears have 2 joint practices this year. When I see where they're gonna be scheduled, I'm just like, who's fighting? Who's fighting in that? I want to see the fight.
a little scrap.
Who's a little scrap? A little scrap. Nothing crazy.
Jerry Hughes still on the Bills and all those guys?
Jerry Hughes.
Is that a long time
Miami
ago?
and Buffalo, baby.
You taking that
Buffalo?
back, dog? Jerry Hughes.
Buffalo?
Is Jerry Hughes still in the league? Is Jerry Hughes?
I'm trying to remember.
I think he's gone.
They had a nice D-line over there in Buffalo. Yeah.
Jerry Hughes last year. Jerry Hughes is still in the league.
Oh, he's on the Texans.
Played on the Texans last year. Only got 5 combined tackles. Shout out to Jerry Hughes.
That means he only played 1 game.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't remember him at any point in on the. Oh no, you know what?
He was a good player.
No, he was fighting. No, I remember the player. But his first year with the Texans, I forgot about that. He cooked. He had like a 9-sack season, and then it kind of came back down there.
Nice for a second.
Let's get into the conversation, though. I appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. So I already asked this question to the Discord, and none of you guys pay attention in the Discord, so I know that you haven't seen this stat.
What do you mean? I saw it.
Yeah? What is it?
I'll let you say it.
This fine bastard here. So this is the question that I asked in the Discord. By the way, if you're not in the Discord, click the link that's pinned up here. We will get you guys. You can get into the Discord. We drop all of our exclusive stuff in there. We drop a lot of our.
We do?
We update all the videos and stuff like that.
do?
You bastard.
God.
No one knows nothing about this.
Nobody messes with the Discord. We drop anytime I'm up at camp and I get video, I drop it into the Discord first, and then we end up posting it out there so you get the unedited footage. Caleb Williams, 2 scenarios for the season.
Okay. All right.
Scenario number 1.
Oh, there we go.
The Chicago Bears finish 9-8.
Okay.
They are fighting for a wild card spot. Caleb Williams has a 4,500-yard passing season, 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, with a 65% completion percentage.
That's meaty.
That's a meaty scenario there. You're not asking questions about your quarterback anymore. Ben Johnson's a success. You feel like you're riding off into the sunset. Something probably happened there. Yeah, I mean, you got a tough schedule. I told you, 9-8, 10-7 is very feasible this season. Scenario number 2. You finish the season 14-3. You win the division. Caleb Williams has a 2,900-yard season, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I'm sorry, in the previous scenario, Caleb Williams finishes with a 99 quarterback QBR. In this scenario, Caleb Williams finishes with a 103.7 QBR. 2,900 yards, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 69% completion percentage on the season. But you finish the season 14-3. Which scenario, boys, would you rather have? Knowing the talking point on scenario number 2 is question marks on the quarterback. Who is he? Is he really the generational prospect? But they won a lot. But is he Mitch Trubisky in dark skin?
Oh, Joe.
Or scenario number one. Scenario number one, you probably have more questions on the coach because 9-8, you had a 4,500-yard passer. How'd you lose that 8 games?
So,
Joe, what you got?
That's the 14-3 scenario screams same old Bears. It's basically 2,900 yards passing. Caleb threw for 3,500 yards, and it was like there were games where he had 100 here, maybe 200 here. That means he's not throwing hardly anything.
But with Ben Johnson I'm just playing devil's advocate here. With Ben Johnson as the coach, that doesn't mean you had a bad offense.
Hold on.
That just means that you had a interesting scenario.
Go
ahead.
Now I lost my train of thought because you interrupted me.
Get it
Now I got to think it all over again. No, I mean, from a team standpoint, that would be nice. But I'm looking at the quarterback being the quarterback. I want the quarterback to arrive. I'd rather have him throw for 4,500 yards, 9-8 or 10-7 because. But that
There's no 10-7. I said 9-8.
You said 9-8, 10-7.
You cannot.
Did he just say that? Did he say that?
No, you said.
He said 9-8, 10-7 win. He just said that.
I said what I said about this season. 9-8 to 10-7 is very feasible for how this schedule is.
So why can't I say 10-7?
That was not the scenario. I laid
so
out.
now it has to be 9-8.
Has to be 9-8.
Specific 9-8.
So you want us to go to a heart attack? That just means our defense is trash. That's all that means. Our defense is that bad. So I'm going to take – and I don't think the defense is going to be bad. So I want Caleb to throw for all his yards because I don't think we're going 9-8, if you're saying that.
You taking this to a you scenario. I'm laying out the scenario.
You asked me.
I'm laying out the scenario. You got to pick one or the other. You can't sit there and be like, it's going to be some defensive upside, which it may.
I want my quarterback to be the quarterback.
Look, it may because you got tough teams on the schedule. This don't mean you're not losing games 21-24.
Look,
you know what I mean?
and Jordan just showed you. We already went through the schedule.
I know. You got him 13.
Jordan got him
13-4, baby.
18-1.
Yeah, but Jordan also has Caleb Williams throwing 7,000 yards in that scenario. Yes. Jordan, which scenario would you rather have?
First of all, if I didn't know any better, boy, you almost pulled one over on me with this one. But I see where you're going with this, and it's very, very clever. But before I say why you're going with this.
Let Drew answer before you say it. But if you do, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying say your scenario, but then let Drew answer and then say why I'm going there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So my scenario, I would go with the 14-3 because, first of all, winning is more important than any stat. You can put up 5,000 yards like you saw Joe Burrow and Cincinnati Bengals didn't do anything. So for me, it's more about the overall team winning and coming together. And being, first of all, if you win 14 games in this schedule, that means
That's not.
You've got an elite team.
That's not the question. That's not the question. He said, which Caleb would you rather have?
I know, but in all of that encompasses the fact that the team is winning. If he's only putting
didn't
up
ask you the
2,900 yards.
Yes, you would.
Hey, man, can I speak?
I'm just helping.
That's how Joe.
2,900 yards.
Right?
Yeah. Let me talk.
Trying to get you back.
2,900 yards. I'm just saying, like, yes, I would want more yards, obviously, but
isn't that Justin
I want
Fields?
more wins. I want wins more than stats, and so. Overall, as a team, if you're talking about a competent quarterback that can lead you to winning, that's what I care more about.
Does he turn on in the playoffs?
Maybe, but I got a reason for it.
Drew, what you got?
It's Drew's
Man,
face.
you're just hilarious. I'm taking scenario 2.
You like the wins?
No, it's not just the wins, but I want means he's managing the game. He's not making errors, and we are winning. The defense is playing well. He's playing well. He's not upper echelon numbers-wise, but he is a winning quarterback, which the Bears have never had consistently.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take option number 2 because stats matter, but they don't matter as much as wins.
The ultimate stat is dubs. I agree with you. Now, the reason I wanted to put this scenario forth is because of the conversations that would come from each scenario, right? If you're 14-3, Caleb Williams has 2,900 yards. We got to endure another offseason of y'all got the quarterback wrong again. My God, you missed. Oh, look at this. You 2,900 yards generational? You drafted a first-round game manager, a first overall game manager. That'll be the conversation.
Doesn't matter.
The other scenario,
you've got 14 wins.
You've got the answer at the quarterback position, But with a 4,500-yard, 25-plus touchdown quarterback, you're probably looking at the coach and going, did you really spend all that money on Ben Johnson? And Caleb Williams gave you that. You developed him, but you couldn't get more than 9 wins in that situation.
I don't think that's a realistic situation.
Now, Jordan, why do you think I put this scenario out there, outside of the storylines that are coming? Why do you think I put this scenario out there?
I just caught on to this because you are very clever for doing this. And so, first of all, if we know the Super Bowl champs in their regular season, the Philadelphia Eagles were 14-3.
Yep.
Their quarterback, Jalen Hurts, last year threw for 2903, 18 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. You're talking about the ultimate game manager. If I can get that from Caleb and we win a Super Bowl, I don't give a
But
dog
they ran.
if he gets close.
But they ran for 2,000 yards
well,
almost.
I didn't say the rest of the team didn't play well.
But that's why.
But
that's
I think that scenario is interesting because the other quarterback's numbers I gave you was year 1 Jared Goff.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Where
one.
I
Okay.
think it was still 8-8 in that first year, but I went 9-8 as a winning scenario. This year 1 Jared Goff, where you were like, wait a minute, is Jared Goff a good quarterback? Are we seeing something here? Yeah. And then he goes on to be the quarterback that we've seen the last couple of seasons, where last year you're having MVP conversations about him until he throws a 5-interception game, but hasn't had nearly as much playoff success. But you've got your answer. Detroit feels like they got their answer at quarterback. They feel like they got to pay. And when you have your answer at quarterback, you can do a lot. Now, the Philly scenario is interesting because Jalen Hurts, when called upon, was absolutely elite. Mm-hmm. You just didn't have to call upon him. And I think that may be a situation that you see a lot with Caleb Williams this season. I think people are expecting Caleb Williams to drop back and throw. Now, I'm not saying he's going to go for 2,900 yards, right? If I had to pick one, I'm not going to lie to you, I'd probably lay in Joe's world, where if I got a 4,500-yard passer that's an elite passer and we're scoring touchdowns all day and I'm fighting for a wild card spot because I played a tough schedule this year, I know I got my answer at quarterback and we can ride into every single season with that answer at quarterback. I think you're not,
because I'm gonna push back on you and saying this because honestly, if he's gone, but if Justin Fields had a winning record, that's basically the same scenario. You would have still taken the person that had the more brighter future, more possibility than the guy that just that did just that, fighting 9-8. You would have taken the guy that brought us to a whole nother stratosphere of winning the division.
So, this is what I want to say.
But if Justin Fields had a 9-8 season with 4,500 passing yards, we would not have Caleb Williams.
Yeah, we would have. We would have
Justin Fields.
So this is the thing. Caleb is not like you're trying to compare. Like I get it, like the Jared Goff thing, even to Jalen Hurts.
I think the conversation is they're both top 10 QBs.
This is the thing. Caleb does not have the makeup to me of like where I think my issue with Jared Goff is that I think when the lights really get bright, he is not really shown. He lost the Super Bowl. They've had one of the top records. They didn't get to the championship. Like when you need him to come through and actually win games. Caleb has actually done some things where we've seen it's a small sample size of him winning drives and either the team implodes in front of him. Like that is in him. Now Jalen Hurts to me is more lean towards more manager, but they insulated with a really good offensive line, a really good running game, and you still got one of the best defenses. So Jalen is closer where he can still do some damage, but the everything around him, I think to your point, is still a question. What we want is an unquestioned leader. You're not doing all this type of stuff to have another question mark at quarterback. So my point was that the only reason why we would be 9-8 and he throws for 4,500 yards is because we have no defense.
We thought we had a professional here.
So the point is that.
See, you keep saying that though. I don't think.
Why would we be 9-8 with 4,500 yards passing?
Because the schedule you play is an incredibly difficult schedule. Like sometimes good teams win, Joe. What I'm saying. I'm telling you, this season, I think your hopes are through the roof for this season.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm expecting them to compete for the division. That's all I'm getting at.
And I think that I agree with you. I think that the Bears can compete for the division. I think the division comes back down to earth. The Lions were 14-3 last year.
Yeah.
How many yards did
because they had literally
13
four
and
gimme games. They had 7,000 yards of offense in total, I believe, last season.
Right.
But
So-
you had four gimme games in the AFC South.
So this
So
man
now
have-
you got to play the AFC North. It's a little bit tougher. I think the Lions come back down. I'm not saying they fall off a cliff like many people are predicting, but I think they come back down to a 10-win team. I think that you talk about Minnesota. I don't think that Minnesota is going to fall off the face of the earth either. I think they're a 9 to 10-win team. I said the Bears can be a 9-win team this season.
they're right
Maybe the
there in the
Lions
mix.
are a 10 to 11-win team.
So
I think everyone else regresses back because the schedule doesn't have this gap of games that is incredibly a cakewalk. And I think the Bears take a massive step forward, and you catch up, and it's still the toughest division in football.
So you think we're like the NFC East where everybody is 9-8 or 8-9?
Who's going to sweep in this division?
Nobody.
well,
I'm not saying nobody. The Lions may.
I
But
don't
realistically speaking, are you going to have two teams that sweep the
I
division?
think a lot of people. I think it's going to. I think a lot of
there's
people
a lot
gonna
of split games.
think a lot of
I
splits.
think you're going to split a lot this
I think
season.
they might. I think the Bears will be up for the Packers, but I think they split a lot of their games against them. This is the thing. Okay, even to your point, I'm looking at Jared Goff's numbers right now.
Jared Goff has phenomenal numbers.
Yes, but 4,600 yards passing last year,
great numbers.
15-2.
Also
4,500
15-2 I tweaked. That's
4,500 yards last year,
Minnesota was
12-5.
Minnesota was 14 and 2.
14-3.
Three.
They
Hold on.
lost, yeah.
4,400 yards, 9-8.
Yeah.
Now, when he's under, he had 3,200. They were 3-10, 3,900, 9-6.
That's all pre-Ben Johnson.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm saying as the quarterback throwing for over 4,000 yards. So when he had 4,600 yards for the Rams back in 2019, they were 9-7. When he had 4,600 yards in 2018, 13-3, and he had 3,800 yards 2017, 11-4. If you're throwing for those type of yards, you're not necessarily you're leaning more towards a at least a double-digit win total versus just being an average team, unless the defense is an issue. You're not throwing that many yards.
If I'm not mistaken, literally the season I picked, they
I
went
know
9
they were
and
9-8, right? But they were growing as a team. The defense, where was the defense at?
We're growing as a team.
They were they top offense?
They were the fifth offense.
That's
no,
a top
No,
offense.
they were the. So it was a tale of two seasons. Remember, they started off 1-7,
Right, but
and then they went on a run. The second half of the season, they were the fifth ranked offense. The first half of the season, they were the 26th, I think.
right,
ranked
they were
offense.
growing into
I don't
who
know
they
where
are.
they finish at.
So the point is that if you're throwing for that amount of numbers, the whole point is that what we want is which Caleb do we want? I want a quarterback. I don't want to do another carousel where we're trying to figure out who the next quarterback's going to be.
Is Jalen Hurts not a top 10 quarterback?
I mean,
Numbers wise,
encompassing, yes, but numbers wise, no. But when you're talking about what you want out of a quarterback, yes, you want a leader. You want somebody that calms the troops. You want somebody that can actually do his job when the lights are on, and he's reliable. Yes, Jalen Hurts is a top 10 quarterback.
And Jalen Hurts has had a 3,800 yard, 23 touchdown.
Yeah, just last year.
Right? I mean,
So it's not like he can't throw the rock.
Yeah.
And
But-
he has the weapons to do so. So my thing is, even if you don't see the 4,000 yards that we haven't eclipsed or surpassed, rather, in Bears history, if you get a 2,900 yard quarterback manager at this point this season, we know Caleb can do more than just manage the game. But if you get that this season with 14 wins with this challenging schedule, that says a lot about the entire team is my point. I know we're specifically honing in on the quarterback, but what that says is that he's managing the game properly, and that the team behind him is doing their job, and that we can go far.
Why
And
would
if
he?
that matters, you're going to keep the quarterback.
And by
if
the
you win
way,
the Super Bowl.
we can't ignore this either, right? Why did Jalen Hurts have 2,900 yards?
They ran a lot.
Saquon
He had a good
Barkley
running- he had a great
almost
running
broke
game.
the rushing record.
He had a
And-
great
and-
running game.
And that's my point.
And a tush push.
Are you
Yeah.
are you being the guy that goes out there and wins games, being the team player? Now I'm not saying. First off, I need y'all to understand this. Both scenarios fine with me.
Yeah.
I got my answer at quarterback, 4,500 yard passer. Like if I had to pick one, I would lean toward that because I'm seeing now a quarterback in
I
my
see what you're
lifetime. We're competing for a wild card game. I don't view it like Joel does, where it's we lose these games because the defense is bad. You're playing the Vikings, the Lions, the Cowboys. The easy game on that schedule is the Raiders, and the Raiders just upgraded their team, so they might not be easy. Then you got the Commanders, you got the Saints, you got the Ravens, Bengals, you got the Giants, you got the Vikings, Steelers, you got the Eagles. You got or I guess I should have done the low note on the Steelers on that one maybe, but they're also the Steelers.
Joe, literally,
You got
we played
Packers,
15
Browns, Packers, Niners, Lions.
Literally, we played 15 teams with great defenses.
Yes,
But you didn't
we play
bring-
literally probably 10 of the top 15 defenses from last season
Yeah.
on one schedule.
a
There's
test.
going to be games
It is a
where
test.
the Bears absolutely go out there, if things are going well, where the Bears absolutely go out there and look great, and you get beat by a better team.
But you brought in a coach from the division that has beaten most of these teams. He knows most of the same personnel is there. Quarterbacks that he's gone up against or had to scheme against defenses. He knows the tendencies of the one quarterback that was the number one guy.
But he was only on one side. He only scored
understand
against
that.
them. He didn't have to defend against them.
Yes,
Well,
yes, you did get
Dennis
to score
Allen got
against
it.
them.
Yeah, Dennis Allen is
But
But
Dennis,
the-
Dennis
but my
Allen
point
didn't
is
come from
that
a
he-
division. Dennis Allen came from a different division.
I understand that, but my point is that you have a coach. Our head coach came from the same division. We did not spend all this money for somebody to come in here and be pedestrian. We can do this. This is the same Bears. If you want the Bears to look like the Bears that we've been
Let me ask you a
seeing
question, though.
for the last
Let me ask
15
you a
years.
question.
Hold on, let me finish. If you want the Bears to look like the same team, then that's what you're going to get. A 9-8, just barely getting by because the defense is always bailing everybody
you picked
out.
The 9-8 season.
No,
So
I'm
six-
saying
so
I don't
6
believe
wins-
in the 9-8
hold on a second.
season. I want the
Let me ask
4,500-yard
you a question, Joe.
quarterback.
So 6 wins is you brought in a great you brought in a great coach, and you improve by 6 wins is not great.
Great. What do you mean great?
You brought so in.
I'm saying-
By the way, in both scenarios, Ben Johnson wins. Why did you bring in Ben Johnson? Honestly,
change the offense and
No,
get
no,
this
no,
quarterback
no,
going.
No. At the base of this, why did you bring in Ben Johnson?
Oh, upgrade the offense?
No, even deeper.
change the culture.
Why did you bring in Ben Johnson?
Quarterback?
That's right there. You brought in Ben Johnson to turn Caleb Williams into a franchise quarterback.
Yes.
4,500-yard passing season, 26 touchdowns, whatever I said, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. You developed the quarterback. Ben Johnson wins.
But you're trying
You
to
also
compare-
brought in Ben Johnson to have team success, which I still gave you a 9-8 season. That's still team success.
Yes.
But on the flip side of this, it's a 14-3 season. So now you know you have
But
the
it's
head
not
coach.
apples
top
to
tier.
apples. You're trying to compare where the Lions that first year with Jared Goff and they're 9-8 or have you and contending in their division, but the Bears already had a defense. They've added to the defense. The issue has always been we need a consistent offense.
You mean the team last year that was 28th in rush defense?
Dude, they got hurt, man. Half the team fell apart.
Andrew Billings.
They
the
kinda
rush,
quit.
the
They
run
quit.
defense was bad with
Go
Andrew
off the
Billings
year
in there.
before that year. They had a top 15,
That's-
top 10 defense.
That's 2 years ago.
And that was
Yes.
different personnel.
No, it's not different.
It was different personnel.
Montez Sweat.
It was different personnel.
By the time
2
Montez
years ago,
Sweat
it
got
was
there,
different
Jalen
personnel.
it was Jalen Johnson here.
Montez was there.
Jalen was there. Most of the team is still there.
no, the
Javon Dexter
upfront was
got
different.
better.
The
Javon
upfront was
Billings
different.
got better.
The upfront was different.
What I'm saying is that they have the personnel and some of the players, most of them are still here. It's 70% the same defense. What's the difference? You got Deo, you got Grady Jarrett.
You got a lot more difference.
Who?
Yeah. You talking about as far as
I'm
on
saying it's the
specifically-
70% of the
2 years
same.
ago.
It's the same defense. Half of them the team fell apart last year.
You
Like
didn't have Bayard 2 years ago.
you got Byard last year, but the whole point
Yeah.
was that you still got most of your secondary. You still got most of your. You still got T.J. Edwards.
Well, I'm saying we didn't have Sweat at the beginning of 2 years ago.
We
No,
got
we
him
got
at the
halfway
halfway
through.
through.
That's what I say. So it was not the same.
No, it got
So
better
not the same.
at the end of that year.
So it was, my point was,
No.
he came in halfway through 2 years ago. So the
dog.
defense up front seven was not the same.
The defense upgraded.
You're trying to
once you
compare
brought
the
in
Lions
Sweat.
situation to the Bears. The Bears will have a leg up because we already have a defense. It's
Yeah, but
not.
I-
we
we
don't
didn't
have
have
a
a
trash
defense. We-
defense.
we-
Yeah,
we had a
you're-
trash defense.
You're assuming that. You can't assume the defense of 2 years ago is going to be the defense of today. The defense of last year at the beginning of the season was bad at stopping the run. The opening game of the season,
Truck stick.
you were getting
Truck
run
stick.
all over the
Truck
field.
stick.
Yeah.
Right.
Versus the Tennessee Titans.
And
Week
what
two.
was the score of that game? Wasn't it like 10-6 or something?
No, what that game in? 20 something, the Tennessee
Stevenson
game?
was
got
that game?
Got the recovery.
'Cause
The only
we
only
couldn't throw
only
the
reason why we
ball
won-
'cause
no,
the
only reason
offense
why we
wasn't
won
ready to
that
go.
game is because he threw that blundering interception.
Yeah.
To Tariq. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. The
But
point
we,
is
we
that
would have lost that game.
24
if
to
it wasn't for that.
17.
If,
Right.
if it wasn't for that blundering interception, we
we
would
could
have
And I
lost that game.
believe
we could barely get the offense going.
Didn't you have a fumble because Caleb didn't score a touchdown?
Right, he
Swift
didn't do
score a
nothing.
touchdown.
Yeah,
I
wasn't
think it
that
was all the
Jonathan Owens?
defense.
Wasn't
Right.
that the Jonathan Owens return too?
I believe there was one in there.
So
Yeah.
the thing is that there is some defensive talent there. All of a sudden now we don't have any talent. All of a sudden we don't have we're teetering around the top 15 defense. That's the top half.
Joe, we were bad last year.
we were
not a
half
top
of them got
15.
hurt.
We don't.
The
we
coach
don't,
fell
we don't
apart.
We don't get the number. Was number ninth pick. That could have been
10.
number
With
6.
a top 15 defense.
With a top 15 defense. It just doesn't happen.
Well,
that way.
now when you have 2 coaches and 3 different
Now,
offensive
what I will
coordinators
say is,
and a rookie quarterback.
yeah, defensive coordinator didn't change till the end of the season, though.
Yeah, it did.
No, it didn't. The
didn't.
defensive coordinator didn't change till Flus got fired.
I'm saying the offensive coordinator.
Your
was
defensive
fired.
coordinator didn't change till Flus
The
got
guys
fired.
got hurt.
Your argument is that who?
Billings
Andrew
got
Billings
hurt.
got hurt.
Yes.
The run
One guy.
defense was
One
already
guy.
bad.
Yeah.
One guy.
Okay, we still had a decent defense until they fell apart. They were done after that Commanders game.
I agree with
They
that.
checked out
I
after
agree
that.
with that.
It was over.
I agree with
The
that.
coaching went downhill from
I
there.
agree with that. You were 4-2. Who did we play when we got to 4-2?
We played the Commanders.
No, who are the 3 wins before 4-2? What division did we play?
Tennessee.
Jacksonville,
We played Tennessee.
Jacksonville.
We won that game. We played Jacksonville.
Carolina?
and
We played Carolina.
Carolina.
So I'm making my point. The AFC South.
Yeah.
NFC South.
No, the AFC
AFC.
South.
Well, you said Carolina.
But that was
NFC
one.
South.
Carolina is the NFC South. You're right. But you most of your wins came away from the AFC
Weak
South.
competition.
Weak
Subpar
competition.
Yeah.
Subpar competition. You had this elite defense, except every time you needed them to
I didn't
be
say
elite.
elite. I just said we have a good defense. My
But
point
last
is that
year you didn't. That's
what
that's
I'm
my
saying
point.
is that I don't think our defense from where the Lions were is ahead of that. Is all I'm getting at. I'm not looking at this team. If the only reason why we would be 9-8 is because we're
defense second half of the season was
we're
disgusting.
figuring out how
Yeah.
the whole point is figuring out how
It
this
wasn't great.
how
It
this
wasn't
offense is going to gel. The offensive line, Ben Johnson putting everything together. It's a rhythm. It's a flow. It's all these type of things. So everything is still new. So there might be times where they have some blunders or they don't figure out the game until they finally get into the stride. So you have a few games to figure that out. Maybe they get it right because we paid this dude $14-15 million to not just be a guy that don't know what he's doing. Okay, $13 million. If he's the next Shanahan, he knows how to run offense. He's done it for the last 3 years.
But I think that's you're looking at this from the coach aspect of it. There's no bad scenario in here for Ben Johnson. If Ben Johnson walks in the door and he improves the Chicago Bears 4 games in the NFL, that's a lot.
With the schedule,
That's
yeah.
ridiculous.
I guess I
amount.
picked the 9-8 because I want my quarterback to be the quarterback.
And that's what I'm saying. You develop the quarterback and you improve the Chicago Bears 4 games versus a much more difficult schedule. That's a lot.
Well, I'm
And
greedy.
on the flip side
I
of
want
that-
14 wins
No.
and 4,500 yards.
I would love to have both.
Super
No.
Bowl's coming through Hallis, bro.
No.
I would
No.
love to have both.
No.
No?
No.
No.
No?
No.
But
No.
I think
F you.
I think on the flip side of
fine.
that, right? You're looking at
fine.
if you're looking at like nobody thinks Nick Sirianni's a bad coach.
Just gotta,
Well,
Nick
used to
Sirianni
bull.
just operated the
Got
game the
mixed
right
They
way.
actually, you
Guess
would
what?
get-
The season before,
They were ready to get rid of him.
they were ready to get rid of him,
Right.
but that's because everybody got a quick hook in the NFL.
Yeah, they
now.
have no patience.
But and I'm glad they didn't get rid of him because then they go on and win the Super Bowl. But you look at the season before, Jalen Hurts was slinging the football.
Mm-hmm.
The problem was you had so many coaches that was in the way.
But he's-
You end up firing that whole coaching staff just about, except Sirianni. What, halfway through the year? You were dealing with new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. They had Sean Desai as the DC. I was cracking up. I didn't realize Sean Desai. Vic Fangio gave Sean Desai the job in Chicago and then took Sean Desai's job in Philly.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
He just showed back up. He's like, get out the way,
That,
kid.
but
I
that
got
was
it. Don't
his.
worry about
That's.
it.
But they all know each other. That's his boy.
Get out the way, kid.
That's
Get
one
out
of
the
his
way, kid.
guys. So he
Go sit down,
stepped
kid.
in.
That's it. Dad got to take over.
Daddy's home.
Yeah. Don't. Hey, I'll hook you back up. You come back in. And we
Actually,
got
it
you.
really is Daddy's home. He's from Philly, ain't he? I forgot about that. Vic is actually from Philly.
Yeah, yeah.
But let us know how you guys feel in the comments below, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. I wanted to have this discussion because I think here's my thing at the end of the day. Neither scenario is bad. It's really just about the conversation you want to hear in the offseason.
Yeah.
I would much rather be arguing with people that, oh, the Bears were only 9-8 last year. Yeah, but they improved 4 games from the season before, and Caleb Williams is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, than be arguing with people yet again, you got the quarterback wrong.
You just
but
trying
we
to
won
temper
14 games.
You trying to temper expectations for folks. So we go 9-8. You've been pushing this 9-8 narrative the whole time.
I don't think that's a narrative. That's what I think the Bears are going to go.
It's a tough.
You-
it's a
I
tough
want
schedule.
double-digit
You-
wins.
It's a
I
tough
want,
schedule.
I want 10-11 wins.
No, here's the thing.
It's a
You
tough
want
schedule.
10-11 wins.
I
You
think we can do
wanted
it.
10-11 wins last year.
Hey, hold on a
You're
second.
ignoring the schedule.
I think your prediction we had on the last show was a little bit more.
13.
Was a little bit more than 10 or 11.
games.
But
Did I have 13 games?
Yes, you did.
So
Yeah,
I'm
what's
saying
wrong
it's
with
a
me?
little bit
And
more.
I said I was fine.
13
And I said I was
4.
fine waffling on the Pittsburgh game. So that makes it 12. But I'm expecting them to do well. I don't think you bring all these people in, all this monsters of coaching, all this type of stuff to sit there and be a pedestrian 9-8.
So you don't
Gotta
think
see it first.
so you don't think it's going to be any transitional
Yeah, we both
period.
had 13 and
Yeah,
4.
we did. Yeah.
Right, you don't think there's a learning curve or
Any growing
transitional
pains?
period.
Oh,
Hey,
possibly,
it's
yeah.
only an entirely new coaching staff, but
Yeah.
13 wins, baby.
I mean, I'm still
Right.
needy with it.
What's up, Brandon? We flipping the switch. We going undefeated.
I love it. Look, 17 and 0. I go 17 and 0. You take
17
17 and 0?
That bad. 17 and 0.
Dang good 17 and 0.
Yeah, I say, as the fallen
He's had a heart
soldier,
attack.
as the fallen soldier, the Bears.
Stop Bears.
Tight
Hey
beef.
man, let us know how
and
you guys
shout-
feel in the comments
Shout out
below.
to the actor that passed away. I think it was
Yeah,
yesterday.
George
George something, whatever his name
George
is.
Went.
He-
Went.
he-
Somebody
George
else
went.
died?
Yeah, he
George
was
Went.
the
That was
died.
sad.
I
he
think
was the
today.
he was the Bears
The guy
skit
that
on Saturday Night Live.
He's the guy
Oh,
that
he's the guy that did the little.
you know who it is. Norm.
The guy from
Norm
Cheers.
Norm from Cheers.
Yeah.
He passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I didn't
Bears.
know. I
Yeah.
just happened to see that today. Yeah, he sure did.
The Bears.
Wow.
Shout
You
shout
know
out
what?
to
Moment
him.
of silence.
silence.
Hey, moment of
That's
silence.
Moment of silence for George
For
Went.
him,
Yeah.
him and Ursay.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
I respect that. I respect that, Drew. You
Forgot
got Jim
about
Irsay
Irsay.
in there.
Good job,
I dropped a RIP to Irsay yesterday. It was
we talked about it.
there's never too many RIPs though. I'm not putting it out there like that. I gave one yesterday. You'll get 2 RIPs from me. No,
One too many.
It's RIPs for everybody. Both from Illinois.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
That's
did
right.
know
Both
that?
of them
right,
from
yes.
Illinois. Yeah,
Isn't one
George
from, like,
Wheaton
Wheaton or something?
was born in Beverly.
Okay.
Oh,
And,
hey, I'm in Beverly,
George,
baby.
yeah, well, don't die next.
Southside, baby.
And Jim Irsay, was from Lincolnwood,
Lincolnwood.
Nice.
Illinois.
Okay.
My
North-
favorite Jim
North
Irsay
side?
story is that
Is the Wales?
that he loved Illinois so much and Chicago so much. The Colts office,
Yeah.
when they moved the first 3 or 4 years, I think, of the
You
organization
talking about 84?
was in Chicago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You talking about 84?
No, Jim Irsay took over in '97.
I know, but they
Bro,
moved from Baltimore to.
They moved from Baltimore.
His first NFL joint, he was 24, man.
Yeah, he became an NFL executive at 24.
Wow.
His dad appointed him. He
Okay.
became an NFL executive at
Good to have
24.
connections.
Owner at 37.
And he became an
That's
owner at
crazy.
37 because his
I'm
dad
37.
passed away.
I like to be an owner.
All about
of a
who you
football
know.
team.
I don't know. I've heard some of your football takes.
Excuse
Whoa,
me.
I don't know
shots
about owner.
fired. Shots fired.
Jim
Well,
Irsay isn't always perfect either.
Shots
Yeah.
fired.
Well,
Okay.
listen, his last big decision was Anthony Richardson. So,
Well, there you go.
you know what I mean?
Okay, but shout out to his foreseeable future. He saw the future. The future is Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
That's
all
a
right,
bleak
okay.
future.
Whatever.
All right. I don't know about that.
Let's move on.
You want to know what is funny? I was talking about this today with Luke and Ellis before we did the podcast.
flex.
No flex, no flex.
Big flex.
Calm down, no flex. Shout out Luke and Ellis. He was in his restaurant. That's the flex, honestly. He was like, "Sorry guys, I'm in the attic of my restaurant. I got to move some stuff around here real
Jeez.
quick. Give me a second." I was like, "Attic of your restaurant? You got a restaurant?" He's like, he told me the number he got. I was like,
What restaurant?
"Oh, yeah. I don't
actually
remember
didn't
what
know
the
he owned a
name of it. I
restaurant.
don't remember what the name of it. You got a few of them though. Lou's doing well.
He's doing
let's
quite
let's
well.
say that. Let's say that.
All
Lou's
right.
doing well. But you saying what restaurant made me completely forget what I was gonna say. What was I talking about?
We're moving on to the number 2.
Let's move on to the second topic. I'm not gonna lie, that sucks.
It'll come
I'm
back
gonna
to
look
him.
back at this video
like, oh,
and I'm gonna
that's what I
instantly
meant.
remember what I was talking about. He said, "What restaurant?" Well, that was the end of that. You know I got ADHD, Joe. Let's keep this thing moving along. As the Chicago Bears preseason has been announced, we've got preseason dates and we got joint practice beef.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
beef?
we got
Time
joint
to
practice
fight.
Already?
beef. Oh, I love a
Fight.
joint practice. First off, we do got beef, and I should have made this a topic.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson's beef with everybody.
Oh, good.
Ben Johnson's taking shots at Matt LaFleur before he's even in the
Yeah,
building.
yeah,
He's taking shots at wasn't there a Kevin O'Connell shot, if I didn't miss it? Did y'all hear
Minnesota?
yesterday though?
No.
I don't tush push. That's not an explosive play. We really worried about the tush
Oh,
push?
yeah. He said, I'm worried about
Oh,
explosive
he's
plays.
I like
I'm not
explosive
worried
plays.
about
We're not
tush
worried
push.
about the tush push. We play
1 yard
Philly.
runs.
Yeah, we-
Hey, bro, they finna tush push us on 4 straight plays, bro. Like, relax, dog. No, he said I'm here for all the smoke. But we got our
I love it.
we've got our preseason games announced, and we've got 2 joint practices. Week 1 is versus the Miami Dolphins Sunday, August 10th. That's going to be a noon game. I'm not gonna lie, 2 Sunday preseason games. I love that because I hate when they do it on a random Saturday, and I feel like the Hall of Fame game is on a Saturday. Week 2 is versus the Buffalo Bills. Both of those teams we will be playing a joint practice with, the Bills and the Miami Dolphins. That's going to be Sunday, August 17th. That's a 7 p.m. game. We get a Sunday night football game in preseason, boys.
That's interesting.
Who's
I like that.
tingling?
I like that.
I'm a little tingly.
You're a little
like that.
tingly on that?
I
I'm
like
hot
that.
and bothered there.
I like that.
No, that's the wrong one. Where's Shannon?
I think it was.
There it is.
Yeah.
Has new connotation now. And then we finish out the preseason with the Kansas City
Shots
Chiefs.
fired.
Friday, August 22nd. Another 7 o'clock game. A
Hey, wait a minute.
7:20 preseason
That
game.
means the first 7 o'clock game is the starters are going to be playing deep in that game.
Maybe.
Most likely,
We'll
it's the third
see.
game.
We'll-
It's the third game.
Third game.
There's
It's the
well,
third game. Yeah, so they play.
usually
They
is
play
about a
deep.
half.
They play
No,
the first half.
They usually do a second game now because there's only 3 preseason games.
Oh, that's right.
So they
swapped
usually do
out.
it in the second game, and then they give everybody that's not going to play.
They converted that fourth game.
Remember, there's no
Oh,
fourth
yeah.
game. Which, by the way, last
That's
year we
some horse
did.
manure.
Remember, last year we did have a fourth game.
That's some horse manure.
No, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. You should just do away with the preseason. I hate it.
That's
It's
why
the-
they
it's the
added
worst
one
thing
to
in the world.
No, you got to
They
ramp
want
up.
that
You got to
money.
ramp up a little bit.
They
You
don't
got to
wanna lose
ramp
that
up.
No,
money.
you know what it becomes because you've made this an 18 game season. It becomes what we see in the beginning of the season anyway. You get some bad football early. Teams trying to figure some stuff out, just like every other sport has. Nobody's expecting you to be 5-0 to start the season.
I do.
Yeah, you're a little more meaty than most. Nobody's expecting you to be 5-0 to start the season with a 17 game schedule, right? If you're 2-3,
Jordan has them going 1, 2.
I think
3,
last year,
4,
if I'm not
5,
mistaken-
6, 7, 8, 9, 10-0 before they get to the
straight,
Steelers.
what did
game.
the
10
Chiefs?
straight.
What was the Chiefs' record last year?
The Chiefs were like,
weren't that
I think
good.
they were
I ain't gonna lie, I had
10
them
and
No,
one.
No, the
6-0.
Chiefs were good.
They were like
Let's not
10 and
do-
1.
Remember,
Regular
they won a bunch of
Wait,
one-score games.
Yeah,
Right,
they
that's
were
what I
like
thought.
10
The
and 1. I
cardiac,
think.
the cardiac
The
Chiefs.
Cardiac Chiefs last year. What
Um,
were they?
let's see, standings. Let's go to last season. We got time. The Chiefs
time.
were 11-6. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the start of that season was a big chunk of
11 and 1.
the question marks. Oh, did they start off 11-1?
I think they started 11 and 1.
I don't believe so.
The
So they
Chiefs?
lost 5
They
straight?
lost that first game. 2-1, 3. Maybe Drew's right. 4-1. Oh, Drew might be right. 5-1. Oh, Jesus, here we go. 6-1. Oh boy. 7-1. Oh, this is not looking good for you, Pat. 8-1. Dang it. 9-1. Oh nope. 9-2 or 7-2. 7-2. I got nervous. I thought he had it.
Okay, 11.
I got nervous. They lost to the Bills.
Wait, what year?
They lost to the Bills. This is last year.
They were 10 and 2.
They were 15 and 2 last year.
I was one off.
That's crazy.
Were they 15-2 last year? Oh, I'm looking at the season
15-2.
before.
They were
Yeah,
11-6 in 2023. Is that the year you're talking about?
No, 2024. They started off phenomenal,
Yeah, they're 15-2.
and they were like this
Yeah,
one score
you're right.
game. These one score games were going to have to end at some point, and it was like no, it wasn't because they kept on going.
Don't stop. Keep going.
I'm not mad at it.
They
Either
went
way, though,
1, 2, 3,
I think
4,
the
5, 6,
the
7,
thing
8,
that
9,
I am
10.
excited about with all of this is
9-0.
that you got the 2 joint practices.
Yeah.
2 joint practices is different from what we've done in a while here. Usually we do 1. Last year we did it with Cincinnati. There was a single kerfuffle. Cincinnati lost some pieces
Kerfuffle.
in that game too in the joint practices. They lost 2 guys. They got taken out on a stretcher. So it was a crazy day for Cincy. I'll be intrigued to see what kind of energy Ben Johnson puts into these because there's usually 2 types of coaches. There's usually those coaches who come in and they're like, we're here to get some work in. You know, everybody get away. You know what I mean, you get some work in, work against a team that you're not used to. And then there's the coaches that come in and they're like, no, your goal today is to win practice.
Punch these dudes in the mouth.
Like you need to show you're not the same old Chicago Bears. Your goal is your goal today is to win practice. I'll be very intrigued to see if that is how this Bears team comes into these joint
I
practices.
think it's more the latter because you're already seeing the intensity level really rise with the practices that they're doing right now in OTAs. Like Ben Johnson is cursing people out. He's
It was an hour and a half practice, dog.
Dude, there's a culture being set, and so you want other teams to come in and face you with these joint practices. I believe the intensity level is going to rise even more. You know, there could be a couple kerfuffles or squabbles, but that's a good thing in my opinion. As long as nobody gets hurt or gets injured for the season, you want these guys to be aggressive. You want these guys to be ready. You want these guys to have that mentality of it's almost like we're ready for the season right now. So I love that.
It's not that. Well, that's part of it, but the main.
Oh, thanks.
No problem. The main.
Everything you
It's
said,
not that.
bullshit.
Yeah, you throw that out the window.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
none of what you said.
Sorry.
Everything
Jordan.
you said, F that.
Garbage.
Garbage.
Pure and utter garbage. No, what it gets down to is that you need to test your offense against other defenses. You got to start getting Caleb in situations that allow him to actually learn. If you're only practicing against your defense, there's some nuances you're going to get, but the main thing is that you have to practice against other competition. So you're going against a stout, technically sort of a stout defense with Buffalo. I don't know what they're going to do in practice.
Buffalo is top 10.
Yeah.
I'm
saying in practice, if they actually practice.
Yeah, it depends on what players
they actually are out there.
Real practice.
Yeah,
And now you have Miami. That's another offense. That's a high-flying offense that you get to with your defense. So, I mean, it's smart to get some of those type of teams where you can actually get somewhat of game speed to a degree. I mean, but it's to me, it helps install your offense. It helps get Caleb against some quality teams, not just only practicing against yourself.
It's smart to me because we don't play any of their divisions this year.
Well, we play them both in preseason, but we don't play them during the season.
Regular season. So you're going to show them, in my opinion, you're going to show some real life application.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to play them in the regular season, so we don't have to shell to me.
Yeah. Listen, you're going to run some certain scenarios that you're trying to show some things in. You're going to try and show some creativity. You're going to try and show out. I think last year's was like, I don't know if y'all remember this, but we were excited coming out of that Bengals joint practice because Caleb Williams looked absolutely great. Now, you get into the season. Also, there was no Trey Hendrickson in that practice. But you get into the season, and you realize the Bengals are absolute dog water.
Yeah.
Like you have no defense. So what did that Caleb Williams good look like? Now, you'd feel a lot worse if you looked bad against them. But I think in this scenario, you're trying to – I want to see the Bears come at this, and I always want to see my team come at this as the aggressor, as the tougher team, as the more dominant team, as the team that is willing to put everything on the line and willing – to be in a fight. Now, you don't want to get fined at the end of the day. No. But if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. Because the big thing for me is not just to fight in this, but like go out there and be the aggressor on offense. Go out there and be the aggressor on defense. Go out there and line up across from another team and say, you're not going to move us around. What did Tevin Jenkins say when he got here? I want anybody that stands across from me, I want them to know that I am the man that's in charge and there's nothing that they can do and they'll be pinned and pushed to the ground and there's nothing they can do about it. And it was a very weird thing to say. But I felt like
you want some accountability.
That was the mindset.
You want some accountability.
That should be the mindset of your team coming into this. You're not coming in. And I believe both of these, or is one of these will be in Miami. No, both of these are in Chicago. Both of these are here.
Hallis Hall, yeah.
Both of them are coming to Hallis Hall.
So it's almost like defend your home, defend your turf, set the tone.
Don't get hurt, but don't play weak either.
Yeah,
that's my big thing. How do you want to see Ben Johnson handle preseason?
The same way he's been handling everything since he's gotten through the door, with authority, with intensity, stamping his name as someone who is ready for that head coaching spotlight. Honestly, just come out with a bunch of like aggression and just intensity. That's the word I keep coming back to. Is I want to see them really, really change the level of play, the level of intensity. From the outset. Don't go about this in a soft way. I understand that there's going to be some growing pains with the offense. Being newly installed. There's some new pieces on the defense, but. Overall, man, you really have to just put your stamp on how you start this thing out.
I think that take was hot doo-doo, but
yeah, thank you.
Maynard.
I'm not gonna start giving that doo-doo takes. Hi,
Maynard.
No, I think
Joel said you already are.
No.
I think the preseason is exactly what it is.
This is completely sidetracked, but I had YouTube pulled up on here. Hey man, why everybody using our font, bro?
Right.
Hey, bro,
Dude, everybody
looking at the bottom.
That
Yeah.
just caught me off guard, bro. And I know both of the people whose videos these are. Everybody using our font,
Oh,
right?
I see Hayes over there.
I know. Oh, you have to call somebody out.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Oh, I
Biter.
call him out.
Biter.
I don't know the other one, but
Biter.
still
our people.
Yeah, I
That's
see
my
him.
boy.
What they say?
Yeah, I see him.
What they say
He
when
didn't get
someone
it.
when someone uses
that's
your
why you
stuff.
don't commit crimes
He
with
didn't get
Joel,
the
right?
assignment.
That's why you don't commit crimes with Joel. Joel, hey man, how long we gonna be robbing this bank?
Will you shut up?
Joel,
No.
that's a police officer you're talking to.
No. Hey, Drew, dog, you used my name, dog.
Hey, what was that just then?
Something that was
I seen that in the show yesterday.
You
I was
used my
like, you want to
name.
give him the whole government?
Jeez.
Nah, I think the preseason for the most part, too, you're not really gonna get much out of that.
Well, I'm just saying, how do you want to see him handle
But-
the
but we
players? How
can't.
do you want to see him
But
handle?
we can't. We
Yeah.
can't. We can't because we don't play them. So you're gonna see
I don't want
not
anybody
a exact replica of our offense, but you're gonna see something darn close to it because they can't use it against us.
Oh no, you're gonna see vanilla.
Right,
Teams
right.
watch tape. Ben Johnson is
right.
No,
We're
I
not
think it's
gonna
gonna
get
be
a
a
lot
little
out
bit
of it.
more than vanilla, but it's not gonna be full Action Jackson. But
It-
it's gonna
it-
be more than
it-
vanilla.
it's gonna be vanilla.
No, it's gonna be more than. It has to be more than vanilla because he has a whole new. He has a whole
not
offense
vanilla.
to put in a win now situation.
What I would like to see is there any kind of cohesion of the offensive line with the snap count, with Caleb being able to just hike the ball.
those little things,
Like
yeah.
that's what you want to see. You're not really going to see anything. They're not going to show nothing. So I'm
Show
fine.
me something.
Show me what you're
preseason-
working with.
Show me
The
what
only
you're
game we're
working
going to
with.
really see, and
Shake
it's
it
still going to be
fast.
basic,
Watch yourself.
is that second game for a couple quarters. So, for the most part, just can he get the terminology down? Is he able to command the huddle with a new offense? Is Ben Johnson able to get things? Can they kind of just get plays in and out and they don't look like they're lost out there? So to me, that's what this is all about. It's practice to get them ready. So when game one, you know what? They might be rusty for their first half. It might be that by the fourth quarter they might start to figure something out. I don't know. But the whole thing is that's what preseason is for, is to start to get your the infrastructure in place so that everybody's out there being able to play. Yeah.
You know, Joe? Shut up.
It's a bad take, Joe.
I will say this. I will say this, by the
Bad
way, though.
beats.
When watching Caleb and them yesterday, the one thing that I was impressed by, because you got to understand, I understand Caleb's been in the league. This is a new system. This is a new system. This is a new.
What is that?
There's a new system. There's a new coaching staff,
Yeah.
an entirely new offensive coaching staff, new terminology, new language coming in. Caleb Williams is running a new system.
I just said that.
But what I'm saying is, this is why we don't let Joel have that cup. This is why we don't let Joel have that cup.
in there.
No, but watching them yesterday, by the way, second OTA practice.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams in the huddle, one knee, boom, boom, up,
It's
break.
functional. Oh, it's functional.
So he
looks
quick.
So he
It
looks
was
good.
quick.
He looks good.
I like
And by
the
the way,
functional
I
quarterback.
feel like a lot of people took, and I think a lot of shows explained it this way. I've been trying to do it today, and I can't say I didn't explain it this way. Ben Johnson not screaming the whole practice. Like, I think a lot of people left yesterday's practice thinking, like, Ben Johnson was after him every time the ball got snapped. God dang!
That's the propaganda.
That would be funny,
If
dog.
one of y'all say some silly play one more time, y'all are going to feel my wrath. Now, Caleb, call the play. Spider Y2 banana. Like, I think people thought just every play Ben Johnson was flying off the handle. We couldn't find Ben.
So
Ben is a chameleon, bro. I spent 35 minutes at his practice looking for Ben Johnson. No, legitimately. He was standing in front of somebody who was a little bit bigger than he was, like wider, but wearing the same clothes.
Oh, okay.
When I finally found him, I was like, is that him blending into that man standing behind him? And then like
that was the-
you can't blending in?
No, standing behind another guy like that. Yeah, that.
I'm challenging. That's a stretch. That's a stretch. I'm throwing a challenge flag on that one.
I didn't
My
see a problem
Spidey
with
ten,
it.
they didn't go off.
Yeah, but
didn't see a problem.
you literally
done definitely worse.
literally like continue to lose Ben throughout the entire practice, and then all of a sudden you hear, Cole, God, son of.
Holy cold.
But it wasn't the entire practice.
Yeah.
It was a moment in the practice that
moment
everyone
of
saw.
aggravation.
And I think how people are explaining this is basically Ben Johnson was punching coaches in the face throughout practice.
Yeah.
So wait,
moving past.
Where are we in the practice? Like they're not doing it actually like hitting anything, right? This is just kind of install.
This is all install. But, bro, yesterday was an hour and a half practice.
But so like what you
An
saw,
hour and a half is insane.
But remember how? Well, they have to. They got to get everything
No.
going again.
OTAs are not that long.
No, I'm saying they have to. It's a new situation. So what
No,
you
but
saw from last year,
You only get a select amount of time. Usually you space the time out evenly through OTAs. And so you get like a 45-minute practice, you off the field, 45 minutes.
Right.
Ben Johnson, like, we got to get this right.
right?
Get in the huddle.
I-
But this is not normal is what I'm saying
I
around
got
the
you
league.
because they're trying to get some
Yeah.
stuff on. So from what you've seen from last year, like it's a night and day difference, right?
What I saw in the second OTA practice, and I asked Luke and Ellis this on the show today, tap in today's episode, or yesterday's episode of Chicago Bears podcast. I asked Luke and Ellis this. In 3 years of going to training camps with Matt Eberflus and 1 year of going to training camp with Matt Nagy, I've never seen a practice that intense.
Good.
It's OTAs.
Good.
They can't do nothing. They have no pads. There's literally nothing.
Don't matter.
I've never seen a practice that intense in my life.
Yeah.
Well, I should say in my life. I've never seen a practice that intense since
Well, give us a
Covering
remarks
the
on
team.
it.
What's going to happen when the pads do come on?
I think they may try to kill
We
each
kill
other.
each other.
They may try to kill each
I
other.
miss going down to Bourbon
Bourbon
Day. I used to go all the time. It used to be fun to watch
All
them.
right, we'll wrap it up there. We put your closing remarks on it.
We close it up. We'll
close
close it
the
up.
You want to close it out?
Yeah, close it up. You want to close it up?
Let's close it
Dang
out.
good close
Dang
out.
good close
Darn
You
good.
go light on that one. Dang good close out. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Let us know how you want to see Ben Johnson handle the preseason. Let us know your thoughts on which Caleb Williams you want to see the Chicago Bears come to war with by the end of the season. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. As always, for the super producer, Joel Holt, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC.
Yep.
Of course, Mr. Drew Better. If you knew better, you do better. Say who better? Nobody, bro. It's your boy, Pat the Designer. Back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Brad Don. One love. Peace.
One love. One love.
I hope Joe's scenario plays out. I'm not going to lie to you.
Mine?
Yeah, Joe, you think we finna thrash this schedule? you think
Oh,
Ben,
13 and 4?
you think
Oh,
Ben
no,
Johnson
both
of us.
walked
I
in
think-
and we
I
just about
think
to
the
beat the
problems are
dog
that-
mess
I think
out of the
Philly,
schedule.
Baltimore are
we
legit.
14 top defenses, bro.
That would
We're
be
not
amazing
going to
if we
win
found a way to
13
all of
games.
these games. I'm gonna be
It
honest
doesn't.
with you.
Okay, what difference does it make? What am I putting money on this or something? Like my point is that we didn't go through all this to still be a pedestrian squad.
No
But
team
it's-
does.
but it's
No,
the first year.
no,
It's
we've
the
spent
first
money
year,
on a
bro.
You gotta
coaching
see it
staff.
first.
It's
Gotta
the
see it
first
first.
year, man.
No, I understand it. I'm just saying, this guy is in the division. He played against these other teams. Like he scouted. He's
Only
schemed
two.
for them.
Only
The Lions,
two.
the Packers, and the what are you talking about? The Lions, Packers, and the
Right,
Vikings.
Right, so,
He
right,
played
so
a good
it's
amount
only
of
two
these
games, two teams.
That's three teams.
He didn't scheme against
Three
his
teams.
own-
He's played
he didn't
against
scheme
Philly.
against
He
Detroit.
knows Detroit, and he schemed against the Vikings and the
Yeah, he knows
Packers.
the-
Well, you got to
the
go up
division.
against
He
the
definitely
defense.
knows the division.
You got to go up against the defense at
Correct,
Yeah.
and he knows the one quarterback's tendencies. He's coached him for
Hey,
years.
I'm not gonna lie. I hope Joe's scenario play out, but I swear for Lord, if these must go 13-3, he gonna be unbearable.
I didn't
He
know.
gonna be like, I told you.
No,
Look at it.
I only had to go.
Well,
I
I
had
go
to go
crazy
8
too,
and
but I
1 or
mean-
something
I'll be
like
going
that.
crazy. I'll be
I had
going
him going
crazy.
crazy in the beginning, but he had him going undefeated. Dang
No,
near.
No, he had him.
10 in a row.
He had him benching everyone the last 2 games
That's
of the
the only
season.
reason
That's
they
how they
lost
got
the
the
last 2
4.